Hello everyone, it's Michelle over at Shell's Nails. I decided to create a set today using the new Maniology Box of Wonders stamping plate. We're going to be using plate number M529, and we're also going to be using a clear jelly stamper, plate 180, to create a little snowman set. Right now I am rounding out and taking off those little nubs on some Opry's nails. These are the short round, and we went ahead and did that on all 10 of them, and I'm just wiping off some dust. And then I'm going to use the by Chloe primer just to prep them all and make them super sticky. I've shown this in one of my last videos that it does help adhere the gel products. So I'm gonna just smear this all over the top of the nails just to get them nice and sticky, and I wait a few seconds before I put the gel on. This is Opry's Light and Shadow Love Island. It's a nice kind of cool blue. Reminds me of the sky in winter, so this is why I'm using it. We're gonna go ahead and put a coat on all the nails, cure for 60 seconds, and then we'll end up putting a second coat on as well. If it looks like I'm moving fast, I have this video sped up 2 times. It was an hour and about 40 minutes long from start to finish, and I got it down to 21 minutes for you. So just to know that when we are making a full set, it could take 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on the detail in the set. Here I'm adding the second layer of that gel color. I do like the Shadow and Light Opry range of colors. I've been slowly collecting them. I have all of summer, and I have a few from, I think, fall, and a few from the winter. But I do like them. I wish I could have bought them all in one go and had all, I think there's 48 colors in total. I'm going to be using 2 in this set. So I'm using this nice blue, and then I'm going to be using a white. So there's 2 coats of that blue, and now we're going to use White Russian gel bottle. It is a matte glitter speckle, so it's reminiscent of snow. It doesn't have any kind of uniform flakes. They're all kind of a hodgepodge flake, and they're matte, so they're not super shiny, and I just like the way it looks for kind of a background snow feel. It's more of a speckle than a glitter. And since it doesn't have any sparkle, it's exactly what I want for the background on these. You could also use a sparkly glitter or any other kind of a speckle glitter in the background. It's completely your preference. I just like how this is matte. Now we're going to use this Morning Size from Opry's, which I said is it's more of a milky color, so it's transparent, but it's just going to tone down and kind of blend that glitter in with the background, so it's reminiscent of it snowing outside. And we're going to do that on all of them as well. Again, I cure 60 seconds between all of these coats. And you can use any kind of a milky sheer white. We don't want to opaque, because opaque would cover up the blue and cover up the speckles, so you do want it to be sheer. And this is the base color, and now we're going to use that M529. It's got these cute little snowmen, and we're going to do some reverse stamping. So first I'm going to do the middle nail, and there's some kind of snowflakes in that design. It says Let It Snow. I am going to take those black snowflakes out because I want just the words, and then I'm going to add my own white snowflakes using the clear jelly stamper plate. So here we go, it just says let it snow. And using white, my favorite stamping polish for white and black is from She Modern. It's their sticky stamping polish. I like it because it picks up the tiny details, and it sticks really well because it kind of has a tacky layer to it, so it doesn't dry as quickly, and it doesn't dry fully to where it's just like regular stamping polish. It still kind of has a sticky consistency to it, and it just lets me place my stamps in a slower pattern. And here is the design we're going to do. We're going to do this cute little snowman next to a tree. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to do this reverse stamping. So we're going to use Frozen by Maniology. This is a stamping polish. And if you're going to do reverse stamping, I use a brush. You can use a dotting tool, but you don't want to drag the polish across your stamp because that'll lift the design up. You can see me, I'm kind of dragging it a little bit when there's no when it's a big area to fill, but in the other ones I am kind of doing a dab technique because it can, if you're not careful, it can lift up the stamp that you've got on your stamper, and then you would have to start over. So you want to be careful not to drag your brush across any of the stamped images. I find that doing kind of just a bouncy tap tap works the best. And you can use a dotting tool for this. I have a specific brush that I like to use. It's not the best brush. It's kind of been ruined by acetone, but it gets the job done and it has a nice point, and I tend to use that same brush for all of my reverse stamping. And here we're just making a little candy cane. I decided to make the candy cane red and green because I wanted that contrast. I felt like if I did a candy cane in red and white, it would kind of disappear in with all the white that's going on, like in the snowman and in the snow. We're going to do like a little bluebird. You can see the little bluebirds filled in there. And we're going to pull out some of that sticky stamping polish white for the tree. I'm going to just add some snow on his hat and then on the tree as well, just to show that it's been snowing and it's kind of snow-capped. And since I used for the snowman a more pearlescent white, there is a contrast there. And there's some baubles on the tree, so we're going to add some gold for those baubles. And you can see, I'm not very proud of it, but you can see some cat hair on the stamper. That's on the underside of the stamper. It's not on the face of the stamper where I'm actually working. Cat hair gets everywhere, and it's really hard to keep off of silicone, and these silicone stampers are no exception. For the green on the tree, I'm using this really dark kind of forest green. It's almost black from Clear Jelly Stamper. it does look black here. It is a dark green. I do like it as kind of a contrast. I didn't want a bright green on that tree. I just felt like a bright green would have been distracting. So I'm using this dark hunter green. And sometimes the polish that you put out on your palette, I'm just using the stamping plate as the palette, but sometimes it does dry rather quickly, so you'll have to add more to your palette. And I don't know exactly where the snow is on this tree. I'm just kind of guessing. I'm doing some of it green and then I'll do some of it white, so it looks like it had snowed onto the tree. And more of that sticky white. And as you can see, I am doing that tap tap kind of motion. I am not dragging that brush. And I flip it over to look to see if I filled in all the gaps. And then after waiting just a second, actually wait a little while, because you don't want your paint to be wet, but you still want it to be sticky enough to stick to the gel. Then I transfer it over to the actual nail. And this is where I'm going to put some little baby snowflakes around, just to kind of highlight that it is snowing. Just kind of adds another layer over the top of everything. And there we go. Those two nails are done. And for the index finger and the ring finger, I am just going to cover them completely with those little baby snowflakes. Since we have that background of the white chunky matte glitter, this is just kind of another layer to add on top to show that it is snowing. Now for that pinky of that same hand, I'm going to do this little bird. It matches the tree on the front, on the thumb, so it kind of makes the whole hand and the whole set cohesive. Again, I'm taking off any of the snowflakes around the little bird. I don't want black snowflakes. I want to add those little white ones. Using the stamping plate as a palette again, I just put out some blue. And I'm going to make this little bird bluebird, again, to make it cohesive with the thumb. When you're doing just one color with reverse stamping, it is a lot easier. Again, you don't want to drag those bristles across any of the stamped image because it will pick it up instead of laying down color. And I just stick that on the top of the nail. And now I will add some of those little snowflakes. This little mini stamper I have is from Uber Chic Beauty, and I like it for little designs. It does work rather nice when you don't need to do a big stamped image. And the next image we're going to do is this cute little snow lady holding her candy cane. Going to use the same colors that I used on the other hand. So we're using that pearl frozen white for the actual snow person. Make sure you get the entire image so there's no holes. If there is any little holes, usually that's not very noticeable. Because there's so much going on, it's not very noticeable if you missed a little section or not. And we're going to use that same hunter green to do the holly at her feet. So I'm using all the same colors that I used on the other hand. The same frozen white color, the pearly white, the same blue, the same green, the same red. All of that will be the same on both hands. And sometimes these little images are difficult to find out where, or to decide where certain colors should go and where they don't go. Sometimes you just have to guess. The Maniology stamping plates are usually pretty good with their designs to where you don't have to guess too much. I have used other stamping plates, which I love as well, from different companies, but sometimes you do have to decipher and guess where certain colors will go. I haven't had too much problem with it looking what's the word? You can usually decipher what things are. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but sometimes you do have to guess when you're doing reverse stamping where certain colors go. It's up to our artist interpretations. So I'm just giving her a little blue jacket and a little blue hat and some blue earmuffs. Gonna give her a red bow and scarf around her neck. Sorry, I am out of frame here. I am getting better with that, but it does take time. Some more of that pearly color because I forgot a section that is her body. So I wanted to make sure that I got that in the same color. And there she is. You see, I'm just letting her kind of sit and hang out a few seconds before I stamp her down. Just kind of letting her dry a little bit. And I will position her and push her on. I remove the stamper kind of slowly so that the image does transfer. Sometimes it sticks to the stamper better than it does the nail. And we're just going to add some more of those little tiny snowflakes around her. And again, on the pointer and the ring finger, we're just going to make those fingers fully snow. And I am not sure where the footage went to with this middle finger on the second hand. I did place some words on the nail. It's hey ho from the same plate, but I don't know where that footage went. But we're going to put a little puppy dog on that pinky nail, similar to the bird on the other hand, just a little bit to tie it all in. I'm going to use the same snow color as the little snow people. Again, tapping away to fill in the negative spaces. It's a cute little puppy dog. Has a little bit of holly on his head, so we're going to add that red for the berries. And there's our cute little puppy. I'll put that more in the bottom of the nail, and then we're going to add those mini snowflakes again. And here is the finished set before top coat. I'm going to use this Au Pair View Gel Overlay Perfect Top Gel. It's a no wipe, super shiny. It's a Korean brand. I'm not sure where I picked it up. Yeah, I'm not sure what side I picked it up from, but I do like this top coat. It does make things super shiny. So we're just going to add a layer of top coat, and I make sure that I kind of cap all the edges so that there is no possibility of chipping. And this does add kind of a nice high gloss. You could also matte it if you wanted to. Matted would look nice. Sometimes I like to switch it up and do matted instead of the high gloss. It really depends on your personal preference. I'm going to put a coat of the top gel on both of the hands and cure them for 60 seconds. And here is the finished set. It's very cute little snowman, very festive. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for coming along. I'll talk to you later.